Okay, so it says place your empty cup. So I'm doing that. Okay. And then we hit start. So it weighed the cup. Now it knows the reference weight of the cup. It actually zeroed the scale as well. So now we're going to put in about 18 grams of coffee. So 17.6, close enough. It's going to weigh the scale. It's going to weigh the beans. And then it's going to extract everything to 3-to-1 ratio using that. So now I hit done. Okay, now it says to grind the beans and load portafilter. So we're going to do that. Empty the cup back on the scale. Okay, so so now it's weighted, so I can take it off. I'll put this in here. Notice how the 3D printed scales actually has the magnets embedded in it, so the scale stays on the tray pretty good. So now we're going to put a little bit of water in. Just put a little water in the beans to cut down on static electricity. So now I'm going to grind the beans. My grind setting is somewhat random at this point, so who knows how it's going to work out. Okay, so you put the empty cup back on the scale, so we're going to do that. You notice when I do that, it detects it, and then the done button shows up. So now it's ready for me to grind the beans and load the portafilter. So waiting for the beans to finish grinding. That off. So now we're going to go load the portafilter. Okay. Now I have this thing here. There's a link in this video. There's a link in the bottom of the video how to get to this distribution tool. This one I 3D printed and I built, but you can. It's designed by someone else on the web, but you can use it. It works out pretty well. So you do this. That's probably enough. So it ends up looking like that, which is pretty smooth, right? Good tamper. Everybody knows how to do that. Okay, this is the normal espresso stuff. Okay, so now we hit done brewing. So now you'll see is it'll start pre-infusion. So once it starts to detect that coffee is extracting, it'll actually pump up the pressure and do actual brewing. So depending on my grind size, if I got it right, it's starting to drip through. Now if you pull the camera down and look up like this, you'll see it get a little lower. You have to come back here though. You see how it's self-extracting. And you'll notice it has formed a single column, which means I've avoided channeling. I can come back up and look at the telemetry now. And then, yeah, so you can see, try to avoid that glare. Yeah, there you go. So actually it looks like it's up to 5 or 7 bars. That's pretty good. So it's not horrible. And so, you know, I could make the grind size a little finer based on the pressure that I'm seeing. But if you look, there's a good crema. If you look at the extraction itself, it's not a bad crema. So that's it. And then, okay, we do that part. So now what happens is it automatically counts down, and then it goes to start heating up to steam. So while it's doing that, you can stay there. I'm going to actually get rid of the, clean out my portafilter while it's heating up. And notice how I could have walked away because it actually stops extracting based on the scale. It knows the 3-to-1 ratio. It knows that it's done brewing, so it stopped automatically. And now it's actually heating up the steam. So once it gets up to 140 here, it will declare itself ready to steam. So operate steam on. Okay, so now we're going to do that. Okay, I have to get a cup. So you know the steaming process is first you introduce a lot of air. Then you spin the milk so that this is the part where you're trying to get a nice spin, and this consolidates all the bubbles and gives you a microphone. And now I'm just feeling for the temperature. When it gets unbearably hot, that's about 165, I think. And this is oat milk, so it doesn't scald quite as much as regular milk does. Okay, so we're gonna stop that. And then what I've done is I actually poured into a second container. That helps to stir up the bubbles and consolidate. It helps to combine both the bubbles and the milk. So now we take the espresso, we put it in our cup. And then we do the pour. I can watch it. I'm gonna come up like this. You come up, and then you come back down like that. So that's something. Then you try to get all your bubbles by doing that. That's it. And then finally, the cool thing about RoboGaggia is that I use Compose multi-platform, which is a mobile phone technology, to allow me to install this app on both Android and iOS devices. And this is a MagSafe adapter, so you just can pop the iOS device on here. But again, this has easily been an Android device.